Understanding private and public access of your data files. When defining your classes, it's very common and probably smart to make sure that all of your attributes or data fields are private so that the data cannot be accessed from outside of the class, that this data must be accessed only from within the class or the class's objects. So we make those data fields, those attributes, private. And what we do is we create methods to manipulate those data fields, and we make those methods public so that from outside the program, other methods and programs can request access to the data fields through these public methods. The idea of making your data fields private is to prevent outsiders from changing your data. And so we specify the data fields have private access. And that's known as assigning an access specifier, making it either public or private. Public access means that other programs and methods may use that particular aspect of your class. And it's very common to make your data fields private, but your methods public, such as your get methods and your set methods. You make them public. The access specifier is public or private. Think of it as an adjective. Now, depending on your programming language, it could be different terms, but in pseudocode, we're just going to use the words public and private. Here's some sample pseudocode of the employee class. Notice that the attributes, the data fields of last name, hourly wage, weekly pay, are all private. There's set methods that are public, get methods that are public. But notice there's also a private method that calculate weekly pay. That calculate weekly pay method is used to set the value of the weekly pay attribute. So that's a private method that is processed within the class or the class's objects themselves. What you shouldn't be allowed to do in your program is to directly access the hourly wage data field by assigning it a value, as we see in this first bullet point, because that particular attribute, hourly wage, was set to private, so you shouldn't have direct access to it. Instead, we use the public method called set hourly wage and let that method assign the value to the hourly wage data field. Of course, if the method is private, such as calculate weekly pay, you shouldn't be able to access it from outside the class. Here's a sample class diagram, again for that employee class. A very common convention in class diagrams for identifying access specifiers are the minus symbol and the plus symbol. The minus symbol indicating that it is private, it has less access, and the plus symbol indicating public or there's more access. So we see the minus symbols and the plus symbols in this class diagram.